What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Dennis Nderitu, live at Nderitu Basketball HQ. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm back with another video. So in this video, I'll be looking at the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. Then how the matchup so far. I mean, I'd picked the Bucks to win Game One, and they didn't win. The Hawks won, but it was decided by 3 points. And yeah, man, that's what I can say. Then the West Finals, the Suns went up 2-0, but the Clippers had to respond. I mean, the Clippers have experience in going down 0-2, and yeah, man, that's the thing. So let me just go run down the matchup summary real quick because this is for the Hawks and Bucks game. So the Hawks outscored the Bucks 18-8 in the final minutes to complete the road win in Game 1 and steal home court advantage in the series. Trae Young led the Hawks with 48 points on 17 of 34 shooting, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and a steal. Excuse me. John Collins followed up with 23 points and 15 rebounds. Clint Capella total 12 points, 19 rebounds, and a steal and a block, while Kevin Hartak chipped in with 13 points on 5 of 12 shooting. Meanwhile, Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks in with 34 points on 14 of 25 shooting, 12 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Drew Holiday followed up with 33 assists, 33 points, 10 assists, excuse me, 33 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Chris Middleton added 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, while Bobby Portis tallied 11 points and 8 rebounds. So you can see, man. Okay, Drew Holiday, 33 points, 10 assists. I mean, pretty good, pretty good. But we need them to show up. We need them to show up big in game two, which is gonna be today, tomorrow, in the wee hours of the morning where I'm at. So yeah, I mean these games happen in the wee hours of the morning, so I have to set the alarm, watch the game, and yeah, man, just get a gist of what happened. And also, I mean Trey Young, man, 48 points. I mean he outscored Giannis 34 points. Giannis needs to dominate them, especially inside because you can't let Trey Young beat you like that. We need a guy like Drew Holiday to defend. I had picked the Bucks because I thought Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton had the ability to stop a guy like Trey Young and just stop him. But it didn't work. I mean, yeah, man. Let me just get in Moses in the stream real quick. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up, Moses?
What are you guys saying about the games that went on?
My Bucks. My Bucks
Oh
fell.
man, oh man, oh man. Who would have predicted that? I was calling it. I was saying Trae Young wasn't gonna have a big game. That guy is having one hell of a run.
I
That
mean,
was
48. 48 points for Trey Young, and I mean, there's no answer there. I mean, what do you think about that game?
that game was like I don't know what the Bucks coach was thinking. They kept doing the same thing over and over, just going on the pick and roll. I don't know if you watched the game. They just went pick and roll throughout the game, and they were doing that to Brook Lopez. Kept going at Brook Lopez. Lopez is always going to opt to protect the rim as opposed to protecting the 3 point area. So Trae Young would take the pick and roll, and then he would be all by himself. Just kept shooting threes and threes and creating plays for guys. I don't know what the Bucks coach was thinking, but we saw over the fourth quarter they switched to Yanis at the five, and it actually helped them a little bit to catch up. But other than that, it was confusing to see the Bucks coach not do that early in the game because I really think they had a shot if they would have adjusted earlier.
Yeah, true, man. I actually thought. Milwaukee had the arsenal to like slow down Trey Young and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. But I don't know, man. I feel like okay. As much as this game was pretty tight, I mean, it was only determined by like 3 points. I mean, both teams
Yeah.
were neck and neck, especially in the fourth quarter. But in the third quarter, that's where the Atlanta Hawks pulled away because in the third quarter, Atlanta Hawks scored like 34 points to Milwaukee's 26. So I feel like that's the time they pulled away and they maintained a small lead. But all in all, I mean, I picked the Bucks. I feel like the Bucks had it. They had this game, but anyway.
You know, we both of us thought that Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton would have stopped Trae Young, but it was pretty smart from the Hawks part because they wanted to look for the weak link on defense. So obviously, a Brook Lopez or a Bobby Portis, they cannot guard Trae Young. So they were like, "This is the play. We're going to just try and switch up Clint Capella's guy or the other big guy's guy." What was the name? I forget. Onyeku. I don't know what the other big man's name is. They kept trying to switch the big on Trayan,
Yeah.
and Trayan just kept going at them. So it was very smart on the Hawks part because what if they were to go 1-on-1? I don't think they had a chance. But trying to switch their mans up, so it really helped their approach in the game.
Man, okay. So Trae Young played 41 minutes,
Yeah,
48 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists, 1 steal, shot 50% from the field and 30% from three and 83% from free throw line. I mean, he had a big game. I mean, 48 points.
yeah,
I mean, we need to stop the Milwaukee Bucks need to stop that. And you have to put clamps on that guy. I mean, them clamps, the same clamps that in the same clamps that Devin Booker and Chris Paul were put on in Game 3 with the Clippers, the Clippers and Sun
yeah.
series. I mean, these guys had a bad game. I mean, it was a bad game, and PG just put his foot on their necks and stopped them. But anyway, we're gonna go to that. But in this game, I was actually expecting the Milwaukee Bucks to at least they got home court advantage. I mean, they have to win this game. Game Bucks in five. I still stick with Bucks in five. I don't. It's the Celtic series all over again. They're gonna give them game one, then game two, three, four, five. Bucks win. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make changes. It's the finals. Bucks are going to the finals. I don't see that the Hawks are not a threat. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they're
In
not.
like a 7 game series, I don't think the Hawks have enough. But it was smart for them on the first game to do that. But we saw on the fourth quarter the coach adjusted Mike Budenholzer. He went with Yanis at the 5. I think he's just going to keep doing that in the rest of the games, and it's going to be game over. Even Young had a pretty good game. He even had those clutch free throws on the last minutes of the game, last seconds of
Yeah.
the game. And but other than that, I think they're just going to adjust. And if Trae Young is looking to switch, if you switch on Jiro Holiday and you find yourself being guarded by Yanis, I mean that's not an advantage on your part. So they're going to have to think of something else other than that. Chris Middleton, although had a terrible game.
Yeah. I
Chris
mean that
Middleton,
guy, Chris Middleton,
yeah,
40 minutes, 15 points, five
yeah,
rebounds, four
yeah.
assists, two steals, shot 26% from the field,
Wow.
0% from three on 9 attempts, and
That was
75% from the. I mean, it was a bad game for Chris Middleton.
he
Bad.
didn't he didn't shoot a single 3 point. He didn't score a single three. So
Now,
wow.
on 9 attempts.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, Drew Holiday had a good game, 33
yeah,
points, four
yeah,
rebounds, 10
yeah,
assists. I mean, he had the typical Drew Holiday game, but I don't
yeah,
expect him to score 30 plus. I expect him to have like at least 25,
yeah,
11, 12 assists or 15. I don't expect him to like score high volume, play make assists. But Chris Middleton, we expect this guy to drop at least, you know, 25 to 30 to help Yanis. And Yanis goes in when he scores like a 30. You need Chris Middleton there to score at least 30. So I feel like Chris Middleton needs to, come up. Game two, he has to show up. He has to show up. There's no other way. Yeah.
For me, the plan is Chris Middleton's supposed to be the Robin to Yannis Batman.
Yes.
So he's supposed to be like the second guy coming. For me, Drew Holiday shouldn't be. Drew Holiday for me, what I want from Drew Holiday in this kind of game is for him just defense, for his defense. Joel Day should probably, even if he's giving me 18 points per game, that's okay from Joel Day, because Middleton is supposed to carry the rest of the scoring load. So for him to come through with a very inconsistent performance, it was just I'm hoping he's going to bounce back. Joel Day bounced back, 33 points, 10 assists. That's very good production from him, and that's why they got him, because he's capable of such performances. But if Joel Day can just it's a shame that he didn't have such a good defensive game, because he was Trae primarily defender, and
Yeah,
for Trae to have a big game, so he's not going to come out and say I had a big game defensively. Probably next game, let's see how they adjust from there.
but I feel like Drew Holiday is that guy, man. When he's just done with this game, then he's gonna go. I feel like they're gonna go back through film, just check on the mistakes that they made. Then I like the Bucks because the Bucks just look at film and they make improvements. I mean, these guys. I mean, they were outclassed. I remember I'm referencing the 2019 second round between the Celtics and the Bucks. I mean, they were stunned. They were stunned in the they were stunned
Hmm.
in the first game, but ended up winning ended up winning the whole series in five.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, these guys are pretty good.
Mike Budenholzer is a good coach. I was surprised he didn't adjust earlier, but he's a good coach. He was probably just just trying to finish the game off, and plus it was a close game. So it wasn't so bad. It wasn't like a blowout win for the Hawks. So I'm pretty sure if this is the Hawks' best performance, they don't have a the next game belongs to the Bucks.
Yeah, true, true. Hold on for a second.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, what's up? I mean, I'm back. I had to. Something was happening in the background. Okay, so
It's right.
so Atlanta.
So yeah,
Um,
yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna switch to the Clippers game, but yeah, we can talk more about the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay, ATL.
Yeah,
John Collins. John Collins also had played well. I mean,
yeah,
36 minutes. He played
definitely.
36 minutes. 23 points, 15 boards, one assist. 68% from the field and 20% from three. I mean, this guy played pretty well. 23 and 15, double double. You know.
John Collins is obviously, when he comes out to the court, he knows he's the second guy supposed to help Trae Young with scoring, and he came through. I didn't expect him to have such a big game, because I was expecting him to really struggle on defense and be really worked on with the big men of the Bucks. But he came through. He came to 15 rebounds. The Atlanta Hawks guys, big men, were just out rebounding the hell out of this game. Yeah, I mean, Capella had 19
Ni-
rebounds.
19 boards. I mean,
Yeah,
unreal. I mean,
yeah,
he almost had like 20 boards. I feel like why is it that we have to throw a body at Capella? I mean, that guy can really bother
yeah.
them, especially offensively, defensively. He's a very good pick and roll guy. I knew Clint Capella from the time he played in the Rockets. You know, CP3 elevated Clint Capella. He made him elite in terms of pick and roll, offensive and defensive boards. I mean, he's a very good guy to complementary piece for Trae Young, especially in the pick and roll. So the Bucks need to stop that guy from like getting them boards.
That was a smart trade by the Hawks, because for Trae Young, you can see his game is primarily going for the pick and roll and just going at you over and over and doing that over again. So for them to go out and get Clint Capella, who was doing a fantastic job with James Harden and Chris Paul over the Rockets, it's a very underrated. I never really thought about it like that, but now looking at it from right now, it was a very good trade for the Hawks. He's really helping them. He's a really active body. That's what I like about Capella. He's not the strongest or the biggest. Brook Lopez, I'm sure he's got a few inches on him. But the way he's just always active and energetic, that's what gives him the edge.
Yeah, true, man. I mean, Capella, he was a pretty. I can say he was a steal for the Hawks. I feel like the best basketball Clint Capella has played, and also this guy has already got playoff experience. You remember he was in that playoff run with the the Houston Rockets in 2018 when they
Yeah,
were the first seed in the West. So this guy
yeah,
has a lot of experience on his belt. I mean, he's been in the playoffs, he's been there, done that. So I feel like he's pretty underrated. I feel he's underrated and elite at the same time. So I mean,
yeah,
he's a very good piece for Trey Young and John Collins. Especially in the five spot. He's a true center.
yeah.
So yeah,
He's not the
yeah.
most skilled or the best big man in the league. No, yeah, I don't think he's even top five. But for me, in terms of like a fit, he's the perfect fit for the Atlanta Hawks, as he was for the Rockets during that time when they were playing with Harden. So yeah, for me, great production by him, and I'm looking forward to the next game. I'm going to be looking at him, seeing what kind of production is going to come through, especially on the offensive end. He's a very good offensive rebounder, which is very big, which any team would use that kind of skill.
Yeah, true, man. I just
Yeah,
wanna let's go to the Clippers versus Suns. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I
Playoff
mean,
P. Let's
Clippers,
start with.
Clippers are just surprising us. They should just let the game go to 2-0, even in the finals. If they reach the finals, they should just give the opponents the first two games, because I don't know what if this is a strategy by them. They keep coming back over and over and over. Game three.
I
What
mean,
did you think?
I mean this. I mean the Clippers. I think they learned from their mistakes from game two. Let me just pick up game two. I
Yeah,
feel like the game was pretty close. It was only decided by 1 point, and it was a buzzer beater alley oop. So I
yeah,
feel like these guys went back, checked the film, just made sure that they knew, and they also saw that CP3 is coming back. So I'm pretty sure they formulated a game plan to stop Devin Booker, and also a contingency was if CP3 came back, they needed to formulate a strategy to stifle like CP3 and Devin Booker, which they did, and I feel like these guys pretty played pretty well, especially Paul George. I mean, playoff P. I mean, 42 minutes played and 27 points, 15 boards, 8 assists. He was only two assists shy from a triple double, and
yeah,
shot. But although he was pretty inefficient, he only shot 34% from the field,
yeah.
27% from three. As much as he scored pretty, he can look like he had a pretty good game, but he was very inefficient. So I mean, the people.
For me, one thing I like about Paul George is if he's not scoring, he can do so much more on the basketball court. He gives you so much more. There are a lot of he's a great playmaker. First of all, he's also a good defender. He can play. He can rotate on anyone practically on the court. He does a lot more than scoring. So you can see he also had a game. In spite of his inefficiency, he had a great game for me. I watched the game. He was just good throughout the whole game. So yeah, man, that's part of the reason why for me Paul George is a big player. He came through tonight. He came through knowing people were looking on him. He's supposed to be the one to get the points. Supposed to be the one to get the majority of the points in the game, and he came through and did that. And the rest of the team helped him, and that's how they got the win.
And also, man, Kawhi Leonard is down. He's out. So PG he has to show up.
Yeah,
There's no other way. PG has to show up. Where the leader, when the leader, the number two guy, number one guy is Kawhi Leonard. Number two is PG. But now because Kawhi is out, PG is the number one guy,
yeah,
number one primary scorer. So he has to put the big boy pants up,
yeah.
suck it up, and get to the court and get the W.
He cannot have an off day. He cannot have an
Yes.
off game for me. Once he has an off game, it's going to be really it's going like I don't see him having an off game and the Clippers coming out with the win because the rest of the guys, there's no one really going who's going to average over 25 points. I mean, this game Reggie Jackson had 23. He had a very good game for me. It was a very good performance, and he's coming through as the second guy in the team, the second scoring guy, helping PG with the load on this game and hopefully on the rest of the games. But PG is the only one who's going to score 25 points and above. So he can't have a bad game. Clippers really need him to just be consistent during this series.
Yeah, and also just to mention Ivica Zubac. I mean, 32 minutes, 15 points, 16 rebounds. I mean, double double, 15 and 16. I mean, if it's a Zubac, hey, pretty good. He was, hey, I mean, that guy was pretty good, man. Especially on the boards, he crashed the boards pretty well.
Yeah.
What you think about Ivica Zubac?
I mean, he gave DeAndre Ayton a run for his money, but for me, DeAndre Ayton had a very good start. At the start of the game, I think that DeAndre Ayton had his number. He came out and he was playing better than him and kind of outdoing him. But towards the end, and for the game to turn out to be a blowout for the Clippers, because it was a blowout for me. Ivica, I think, won that battle. He finished well. DeAndre Ayton started well and he was having a good series so far, but Ivica Zubac finished the game off well. I didn't think it was an outstanding game by him, but he did enough. He did enough, and the rest of the team came through, and that's how they got the win.
But bro, I mean, check this out. I mean, can you say that the Suns were brought down to earth by the Clippers game three? Because these guys were on cloud nine. They were unbeaten since the first round, and they are suffering their first loss. I mean, but they were, I think for me they were brought down to earth by this Clippers team in this game three, and I feel like if these guys are not careful, they might lose game four, and the Clippers might end up tying up the series the same way they did in the first two rounds. You know, what's your take on that, bro?
What I think is the Clippers have figured it out. That's what I've noticed from here. Because you saw from the game, did you see? In fact, did you see Patrick Beverly's defense in this game? He was awesome. He was
I mean,
awesome.
I I remember he head butted Devin Booker in game two.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
okay, you know, but Patrick Beverly has a history of like pestering like the best player in the other team. You know, in if you watch the 2019 first round series with the Golden State Warriors, the KD led Golden State Warriors with the Clippers. You know, KD was being pestered by Pat Bev. You know, he has that tendency of like, being that pest. He tried to be a pest to Devin Booker, but the problem with the difference between KD and Devin Booker was KD fed into Pat Bev's game. That's why he got ejected. But but Pat Bev, when he tried to talk at at
Devin
Devin
Booker.
Booker, Devin Booker just kept quiet. He ignored him as he never acknowledged him. He just played his game. But I think his pesteriness like took Booker off his rhythm. Nobody pestered Booker like that. So, man,
I think the mask kind of affected Booker in this game because he was playing with that mask. I don't think it helped him. I think it actually hindered his game. He didn't have a good game at all. I mean, this Suns team, as much as they are not dependent on Devin Booker to come through and score 30 points per game, I mean, it's they every time they win, it's a team collective effort. Apart from that game, Devin Booker hit 40, and yeah. But other than that, normally it's a team game. All of them they just carry the scoring load, like we saw at game two. But for this game, I mean, Chris Paul came through and he was very rusty. Chris Paul was very rusty for me. He's going to need another game for him to just get back to the old Chris Paul. He was very rusty in this game. Devin Booker, Patrick Beverly just put the clamps on him. It was like you say, he put the clamps on him. Devin Booker
yeah.
was stopped. He was stopped today. Credit to Patrick Beverly. He had a fantastic game defensively and also offensively. He came through with the very important 3 pointers. So Clippers really, I think they've figured it out, and the Suns are in trouble. I don't know. I don't know. They're in trouble for me. I
I
don't know
mean
what you
the
think
Suns.
about that.
I mean the Suns. If they don't like get the house in order, I feel like they're gonna be the series is gonna be tied up by the Clippers, and when the series gets tied up, it's 7 games. It's going to 7 games. So I feel like, but if the Suns just make the changes that they need to make, there's a likelihood that they can go up 3-1. But I don't know. I mean, it's too tough to call because looking at the way Game Three played out, and if the Clippers just play hard again, I have a strong feeling the series is gonna be tied. But as opposed to the Suns going up 3-1, but hey, anything can happen in the playoffs.
Anything can happen, but Clippers keep doing this over and over, where they go two down. If this series is going to Game Seven, I've got the Clippers. They've shown time and time again that they can win once they go two down, like it's their series. Once they come back from 2-0, it's their series for them to take it. So for this series, I can already see it's going to go to a game seven. This series is going to a game seven. That's definitely happening.
But I feel like, if Kawhi Leonard was playing, I feel like they already it will be like the Clippers will be leading right now. I feel like if Kawhi Leonard was playing, if Kawhi Leonard played game two, they wouldn't have lost to the Suns. And I feel like this game they will have been up 2-1 on the Suns if Kawhi Leonard was playing. That is an if. But I feel like I don't know. I don't know if PG, PG has a record, has a very long history of, even if this series goes to 7 games, I like to see PG playing in game 7. If PG can drop like 40 points on efficient shooting, that's when I'll know it's the truth. I'm not gonna be swayed by this one game. I'm just waiting to see game 7 performances of Paul George, because if you can remember way back in 2013 when PG was with the Pacers, they pushed a Miami Heat, LeBron James Miami Heat team to 7 games in the East Finals, and he had a very bad game 7. He only scored like 7 points on like 9 of something shooting. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
If this series goes to 7 games, I'm interested to see PG's play in game 7. If PG doesn't show up for game 7, it's over. It's a wrap. I
Uh,
don't care if he, I don't care if this guy scores like 30 in game 4, game 5, game 6. If this guy just has a bad game in game 7, it's gonna be down. It's gonna be hard for them, because I mean, this guy needs to drop like 30, 30, 30, 35. He has to average like at least 30 in this series.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. For to go back on your on the Kawhi Leonard thing, if Kawhi Leonard was in this game, it would go past game five. I mean, Kawhi and PG, the Suns wouldn't have enough. If Kawhi,
Yes.
luckily for the Suns, Kawhi has made this series kinda has evened it out for me. Because if Kawhi was in this game, they'd probably be, I don't know, 2-0, and probably the Suns would take one, and then they just close them out into game five. But Kawhi not being there has really leveled things up. And for me, PG, I don't. I see him just for this series. I see him just averaging a little 25, little over 25, not exactly hitting 30. For me, I'm looking at the other guys. Reggie Jackson, he had a great game three. Is he going to have a great game four? Is he going to have a great game five? Patrick Beverly, he had a great game defensively. Is he going to hit his clutch threes like he did? Because he had like two very clutch 3 pointers, and he played well, no turnovers. I mean, PG was the only one who was doing turnovers, who was getting turnovers, but the rest of the team they played well. So for me, I'm looking at the rest of the team apart from PG. I'm not going to be looking at PG so much because I think he's going to come through with 25 every game. He's going to make a little turnovers here, maybe not shoot as well in threes, but he's going to do 25 points and over. So Reggie Jackson, Patrick Beverly, Luke Kennard, Nicholas Batum, those guys have got to like really help him.
Yeah. I mean, it's a collective effort, but for me, it's PG. PG PG just has to. I feel like he's the leader, and he's supposed to, guide them troops to greatness. Like if this guy just takes this team and does like a, let me just say, I know it's gonna sound like a bit silly, but if he does like a LeBron, like scoring, playmaking like that, that's gonna what's gonna help them win. What you think?
For PG, like I said, PG is an excellent playmaker. He can do a lot. For PG, it's just a point of him recognizing, am I having a good game, or am I having a good scoring game, or am I having a bad scoring game? Because he can come out, he can shoot, and he can have a good shooting game and try and just stay hot. But he can come out and then not have a good shooting game. And for him to realize that and adjust and maybe do a little more playmaking and maybe look to delegate the shooting and the scoring, if he can adjust and if he can just try and play smart, for me, he's shown that many times before. But for me, I think he's not going to let us down in this series. I think he's going to come through.
Bro, just a side note. In other news,
Yeah,
in other news, the
yeah.
76 the seven the Philadelphia 76ers have committed to keeping Ben Simmons as a centerpiece for their franchise. Bro, let me just leave the floor for you to tell us, bro. What's your
I
take on
mean,
that?
my take is that it's simple. Do not trust the process. The days of trusting the process are over. I mean, there's no process to trust right now. If that's the direction they're taking, I mean, there is no trust in the process. The process is dead as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why they
Junior presents
I don't know why they'd
Nderitu.
want to run it back again. I have no idea why they'd want to run it back again with him. I mean, everyone is saying it. Even somebody who just watched that game and has never watched the NBA game before is saying it. So I don't know what they're thinking, or maybe they don't want to deteriorate his trade value. It could be a game. I don't think they'd seriously say that. I don't think a serious team would say that. It could be a game. They could be trying to just keep his value up and then look to trade him later on because it wouldn't be smart to just come out and say, "Hey, we are looking to get rid of Ben Simmons." Guys are really going to kind of under hit you under the belt, not give you any value. I don't know. What do you
Like,
think about that?
I feel like it's a very good move for the franchise. You don't want to break your corner piece star player. You don't want to shoot down his confidence. That's one. And then number two, the way the Kemba Walker trade happened, when the way the Kemba Walker was shipped off Boston in exchange for an aging Al Horford. They didn't want that situation because if you check the if you checked Kemba Walker's draft, is Kemba Walker's trade value, man, it dipped.
Yeah, it
Nobody
did.
wanted him. And also like if you do that to Ben Simmons, nobody's gonna want him, and you're gonna have a situation where you're gonna give him up for one regular for role players, and he needs an all-star. So the Sixers, I mean, it's right now I don't trust the process, and I feel so sad that it's the Sixers are gonna commit. They're really gonna. I mean, they
Yo,
owe this
bro,
guy that.
bro, your speaker is acting up. Like I can't hear you. It keeps getting cut. Keeps getting cut and cut. I can't hear
Okay.
you. I don't know what's going on with the earphones or
Oh my. Okay. Let me.
yeah,
Let me.
you're
Oh,
having a problem.
let me check. Let me fix it a bit.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, now I can hear you properly.
I'm
Yeah,
clear.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're
100.
clear. You're clear. Now,
It's pretty.
yeah.
So okay. So
So
I
you're
mean,
telling me about the trade value. Yeah.
so the Sixers franchise doesn't want to shoot down the star player, and they don't want to get lowballed by these other teams. I mean,
Definitely.
they,
Definitely.
they don't want to be the lowball. The same way like the Celtics were lowballed for Kemba Walker in the Thunder.
Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
they don't want that to happen. So I feel like
Yeah.
them it's a good move on them. And also the as per ESPN McMahon in
Yeah.
I'm just checking it out. So the Pacers are hiring Rick Carlisle as their head coach. So
Wow.
Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle will sign a 4-year $29 million contract with the Pacers as the new head coach. What's your take on that?
That's a plus. That's a plus. Because for me, the Pacers, when I look at their roster, they've got plenty of potentials. I mean, they still have Malcolm Brogdon, they have Jeremy Lamb, they have the two big men, two Sabonis and Miles Turner. They're still there. So for them to get Rick Carlisle, for me looking at the Pacers before even Rick Carlisle arrived in the arrived, the team was had a lot of potential. You could look at them and just say all they're needing maybe some direction, which Rick Carlisle, being at the Mavericks all those years, has experience with. So it's a real plus, and it makes them a real good, exciting team for the next season. I'll be looking forward to watching the changes that are going to go on in on the court.
And also, I feel like Rick Carlisle will have the experience to deal with, Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis. These are two elite big men. And
Yeah,
also, like the adjustments that the previous coach had, I can't remember his name, but the adjustment that he had, the other coach was forcing Miles Turner to be on the perimeter, and he was misutilizing Miles
yeah,
Turner just to elevate Domantas Sabonis. So it was pretty difficult for a big man. he's six. He's a tall guy. He can crash the boards, and he led the league in blocks. And he's being forced to take jumpers and threes. So it was pretty tough. I mean, guys have the pieces, but they don't know how to make them fit. You know.
Yeah, that's where the coach comes in. For me, Miles Turner is a very good modern big man because he can. I think he's a pretty decent defender. He's not the best, but he can switch up on the guard and like do pretty decent defending. He can shoot the three, even though it's not efficiency. I think that part of his game can be worked on. He's a good rim protector. He can do the pick and roll thing with an elite guard. So he's a pretty good modern guard for me. A lot of potential there, even though he hasn't really reached the level we think he would have reached in 2021. I think there's still a lot of potential there. But I had the Pacers were looking to trade either him or Sabonis. They had problems kind of playing with both of them, and the two of them
Yeah.
can't really coexist. So, what's your thought on that? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I had that like the whole of the off season. They tried to shop Miles Turner, but I don't think that they okay. I can't say that they didn't get suitors. I'm pretty sure that there were offers on the table, but they didn't want to give up on Miles Turner. You know, Miles Turner is he's a very good big man,
Bro,
and
bro, your speaker is acting up again. Your speaker is acting up. I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, like it keeps getting cutting up, keeps getting cut, and it's
Okay.
got. Yeah, have you seen the problem? Keeps doing that.
Uh, let me see. I mean, let me just check do some engineering real quick.
Right.
Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah. Now you're good. You're good now.
Mic check 1 2 3. I have to do some engineering a bit. So sometimes it just disconnects a bit. But hey,
Yeah, right.
so Miles Turner. I just hope Rick Carlisle will use Miles Turner in the offense pretty well. So I just hope they just use the both because they're very good in the front court. I mean, sometimes the Pacers, I felt like they didn't have a good front court, but now they have one, but they don't know how to use it. So I feel like with his experience in coaching the Mavs, I feel like he can do that. He can do that.
They do have, for me, they do have one of the best front courts for me. Those two have a lot of potential, but for me, I don't think the two of them can coexist because for the two of them to play on the court, they kind of congest the paint because they are both of them are kind of big men, traditional big men. They don't play outside of the paint a lot. So for me, I'd be it. I mean, it's correct to think that one of them has to go. I don't think they can coexist. Sabonis has shown that he's an all-star. For me, he's more skillful than Miles Turner. For me, I'd be looking to, I don't know. Maybe I think I need to think more about it, but one of them has to go. I don't know which one because Miles Turner also has plenty of potential, but Sabonis has shown that he's the all-star, he's the most skilled player, and he at the moment though. So, what are your thoughts on that? Who would you be looking? Do you think it's correct to think that they can't coexist? And do you think, and who would you prefer to go of the two of them?
Honestly, I would compare this situation with Miles Turner and Domantas Sabonis with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and that's the angle that I'm going to take. So we've got two guys who are very good, very efficient. They do their thing on the court, right, in an elite level. But now we find a scenario where I mean, one has to go. I mean, but for me, I would rather shop Miles Turner and get a good haul for him. Get some good shooters, a couple of first. If I'm the GM for the Pacers, I will try at least two first round picks and a pick swap and a regular player for Miles Turner for that trade to happen. It has to have like a first round pick, two first round picks tied there somewhere. I have to do that if I'm gonna pull the trigger on Miles Turner.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you right there. Even me, if I had my pick, I'm definitely taking Sabonis because he's shown more. I mean, he's ready right now. We don't know about Malstana. Maybe he needs 2 more years. Maybe he needs a team where there's less pressure, there's less competition. He's the one who's like really hasn't developed over the time. But yeah, even if I'm Rick Carlisle, maybe I'm looking to trade Miles Turner while his value is still decent, and I get pieces to support Sabonis and just go from there. Because the pieces have a lot of potential. So yeah, that would be the way forward. I'm hoping they do that because Miles Turner deserves another opportunity in another team with no competition, without a Sabonis there looking at him and like giving him competition, taking his spots, taking his minutes. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has his
so
value.
I mean, he has his value, but I feel like I mean, let me just give some credit to Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich molded Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, some players that I really wanted like Greg Popovich to like coach and make them elite is a guy like Mo Bamba coming out of the 2018 draft, a guy like Miles Turner. Those guys need a Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich made Kawhi Leonard Kawhi Leonard. He made Tony Parker Tony Parker. He made Manu Ginobili Manu Ginobili. So I feel like if Greg Popovich, I just hope this guy will just continue coaching the Spurs because I mean, if he gets his hand on like a guy like a Miles Turner or a Mo Bamba from the Orlando Magic, I feel like he can mold them to become like great in the future.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Miles Turner definitely needs to go to a young team where they are developing players and just be like part of that fit. I don't know which team. I don't know. You're talking about the Spurs. I'm not sure what the Spurs look like next season. I mean, Lamarcus Aldridge was, is he out or he can't play anymore?
Lamarcus
Yeah, I
Aldridge.
don't know.
What happened to Lamarcus Aldridge is this: he was the team and Lamarcus Aldridge mutually agreed to part ways.
Oh
Then
yeah,
he was bought out. The Nets picked him up. I think he played like 2 games with the Nets. Then he retired. So
yeah,
he's
yeah. I
he's he's
remember.
he's he's gone. So I mean, right now, I mean, look, aside from the Rick Carlisle situation, we have you heard about the Kevin Durant Scottie Pippen feud?
Uh, your speaker's acting up again. Your
Let me
speaker's acting up again. I
my
haven't.
my
Yeah,
okay.
I wasn't
Let
able to
me-
hear.
Oh,
I was able to hear.
can you hear me now? Am I breaking?
Yeah, you keep breaking and yeah, it keeps breaking.
Okay. Let me
I haven't.
try it.
I
Let's
didn't
try
hear the
that.
last thing you told me.
Okay, can you hear me now? Am I clear?
Now I can hear you. I don't know why it keeps going off after every, I don't know, 5 minutes. Then it goes off, start acting up.
I'm not sure. Maybe this StreamYard thing. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe
Is it the
sometimes
same earphones that you were using last time,
yes,
or
it's
is
the
it
same.
different? Yeah.
I I'm actually using a headset. Okay,
Okay.
I'm using a headset.
Yeah.
Okay, if this thing continues, maybe I can just plug in my mic. Let me see if I can plug in my mic and
Yeah. It
get.
could be the headset has an issue, maybe. Yeah, because it
Let me
keeps doing that. Might be a loose wire or something.
yeah.
Something is loose.
Let me just switch to mic. Let me just switch to
Uh,
a complete mic so I can be able to continue.
yeah. Yeah.
So 1 minute, please.
No problem.
Hello,
Yeah. Yeah.
hello.
I can hear you now.
Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah.
So
You're
I'm
audible.
using so I'm using my external mic. I had to let me come up real quick. Let me show you how it looks like. So I'm using this mic.
Nice.
I was,
Nice.
I was using this one, but
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's breaking, sometimes it's clear, sometimes it breaks. But let me just use this handheld mic.
That's
It's
much
just
better.
let's
That is
let's
much better.
continue. So
Yeah.
there was wind. Let me just give you the full context of what Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen were talking about.
Yeah.
So Scottie Pippen on Kevin Durant, this is what he said, and I quote: "Has he surpassed LeBron? No, he tried to beat the Milwaukee Bucks instead of utilizing his team. LeBron James will have figured out how to beat them. KD is a shooter, a scorer, but he doesn't have what LeBron has." That is what Scottie Pippen said to Kevin said about Kevin Durant. Okay, so Kevin Durant, as you know, Kevin Durant is fond of clapping back at people. So this is what Kevin Durant said, and I quote: "Didn't the great and I quote, didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go in the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up at the play for another shooter, for the better shooter." This is what Kevin Durant. This is what Kevin Durant said, right? I mean, it was crazy. So, so that's the whole that's the whole context on what really happened. So, what's your
Wow,
take on that?
I actually saw that. I saw that on Twitter. You retweeted something on that. I think I follow you
Yes,
on Twitter, and then I saw that on Twitter.
yes, I did. I tweeted
Actually,
it.
I hadn't seen it earlier, but then I saw it on Twitter. For me, I don't know why Scott Pippen would choose to go at Durant. I mean, Durant has been firing back at even random guys on Twitter, just random fans. He's not one to back down. But it seemed peculiar, Scott Pippen just going at Durant like that, because Durant, anyone could see that Durant did all that he could in that game. He literally just shot an air ball on the last shot. I mean, he was just keeping the Nets alive. The Nets didn't have any other play. It was, I mean, Scott Pippen is talking about Durant looking for his teammates. What teammates was Durant supposed to look at? I mean, what is Scottie Pippen talking about? I mean, I'm with Durant on this. Durant, they kept going at Durant. Durant was hot throughout the night. He was shooting the ball well, so it was only logical for him to just keep doing that. Probably just push them on. And yeah, I mean, I have no quarrels with Durant the way he performed on that game. He gave his all. It literally was just it went to OT and he just got tired, which anyone could see. So it was a reach. It was a reach by people. That was a reach for no reason. I don't know why he went on Durant. Of all the
I know
guys on that court,
of all
Durant
the
was the
guys.
last guy
Okay,
to go.
but
Yeah,
like okay. Let me just
yeah,
say, this if I check at what Scottie Pippen said, sometimes okay, I'm not gonna agree with Scottie Pippen because I know many people like to throw shade at Kevin Durant because he joined the Warriors. He did this.
yeah,
He became subsequently the most hated player in the league, right? So
yeah,
it's very common for guys to misquote and misunderstand Kevin Durant, especially when he replies to said comments made by
yeah,
guys who played already played in the league. But
yeah,
also, there's this time if you caught it, like it happened a few months ago,
yeah,
with the Mike. You saw the feud he had with Michael Rappaport, the Mike
yeah,
Rappaport
yeah,
situation. I'm not gonna cover that here. Then we have the situation with Shannon Sharp versus Kevin Durant.
yeah,
The I mean, there's some point where you see what happens, bro. I mean, when a small quote like that, when a small reply like that, it might seem small from coming from Kevin Durant, but the reason why I hate NBA mainstream media, they're gonna take that quote and run with it. They'll be like, "Oh, KD is too sensitive. He doesn't like to be compared. Why is KD acting up like this? LeBron wouldn't do that. Jordan wouldn't do that." I feel like sometimes we need to cut Kevin Durant some slack. Let this guy just breathe because guys are always on his neck. Sometimes that time with Shannon Sharp, Shannon Sharp said a lie, then Kevin Durant called him out on Twitter. Shannon Sharp was a coward. He blocked him on Twitter. So I mean, what's your take on that, bro?
I don't know why the media likes going at KD. I don't know. Is he I mean, they don't. I don't know. Do they don't find him likable anymore? I mean, KD was once the most likable guy in the NBA. He was beloved by all. I don't know why they keep going at him. These pundits. I don't know if this it's stuff behind the scenes. Cause like Scotty Pippen is talking about, he was taking all the shots and they are physically wearing him down. You need to do what LeBron does. So what do you mean he needs to do what LeBron does? I mean LeBron's package is him not getting tired. Is him going at the guys over and over and not getting tired. So for KD to get tired and for you to tell him at oh he didn't do like LeBron, it was a reach. I'm on KD's side because it's the coach's role to tell him, hey, if the coach didn't tell him anything about him taking all the shots and they let him take the shots and that's how they chose to lose they chose to lose the game, then why are you going at KD? The KD is the last guy you need to go at. And about the rest of the fans, KD just needs to like respond less to everybody. He's making at the moment and throughout the season, he's just been like writing new stories because everyone once you say something about KD, he always responds, and then that's a story. Then some other guy says something, then responds, then that's a story. He just needs to talk less. I mean, even LeBron has a lot of haters. There are a lot of people who hate LeBron, but LeBron is not out here responding to everybody. So that's what KD can take from
Like
LeBron.
Skip Bayless, Skip Bayless. I mean,
Skip
so
Bayless has
so.
been looking for LeBron ever since 2011. Even
I
past
mean,
that. Yeah.
you see, Skip Bayless is a guy
Yeah.
that I really detest. I
Yeah.
detest Skip Bayless because the reason why I do that, I detest him. There's a perfect reason for that. You see, what
Yeah.
mainstream media does, the networks like
Yeah.
Fox Sports and ESPN are very huge networks. Like Stephen A. Smith is ESPN, and Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman are ESPN, and Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless are on Fox. So what happens is they are very huge networks. So when they say something, it gets distributed to the casual fan, and casuals eat that information up and say, "Oh, Katie is sensitive." If
Yeah.
someone like Skip Bayless says like LeBron is not the goat, the majority of people are gonna believe that. They're gonna say, "Oh, it's the truth. He's not the goat." Like the diehards, they like guys like me who know the game inside out, are not gonna fall for that marketing tactic for Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp. Although I like Uncle Shannon, but sometimes he reaches so much until it isn't consistent. So
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like these guys need to give a guy like KD a fair shake. And also, there's also a lot more. Scottie Pippen had a lot more to say about KD. Let me just give you the full context of what Scottie Pippen really said.
Yeah.
This is to KD, and this is Scottie Pippen on the difference between LeBron and Durant. And I quote: "KD, as great as his offense was, KD, as great as his offense was, it turned out that it turned out to be his worst enemy because he didn't know how to play team basketball. He kept trying to go punch for punch." Okay. Have you ever seen LeBron take a shot like that? He ain't gonna take that shot. He's gonna be smarter. He's gonna force a double. That's what KD wasn't able to do. KD can score better than LeBron, but can he surpass LeBron? Nah, he tried to beat Milwaukee instead of utilizing his team. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
LeBron will have figured out how to beat the team and wouldn't have been exhausted, and he may not have taken the last shot. LeBron ain't KD, and KD ain't LeBron. This is what Scottie Pippen said between LeBron and Durant, on the difference between LeBron and Durant, bro. This is the whole context of the thing. So what you guys say about that, bro? Is Scottie Pippen hating?
On KD, that last shot, I think KD had a lot more time than he thought he had. Correct me if I'm wrong. He took that shot a little bit too quickly, and he was going for a rhythm shot because it like just caught it and like just was going for like the quick shot. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't put myself in his shoes. I don't know exactly, but he was hot all night, so no one blamed him for that kind of shot. Pippen talking about KD going punch for punch instead of passing. Why would you compare KD to LeBron? First of all, LeBron. I mean, those are two different minds, and these are two players who've reached the highest level of the NBA. I mean, KD also has a ring, even though people clown him for those. He had a ring, and he actually reached the NBA Finals and outplayed LeBron and played well. So he's been there. He's not dumb. He knows how to close games. He's done it a million times. He's been there at the biggest stage. So yeah, I think they tired him out. But Pippen, I don't know why Pippen would go at KD for this game once again. I mean, he's saying he's saying KD did not delegate to his teammates. I mean, the rest of the teammates. There was nobody. Harden wasn't going to help KD because of his injury. So I don't know who he wanted taking the last shot. I don't know. Another thing is hindsight is a gift. if KD had hit that shot, everyone would be saying KD is the greatest. KD is dope. KD is this. So hindsight is a gift. You talk like this only if he missed the shot. If he scored the shot, you mention him in the highest regard. So Pippen is reaching. There's no one else. No one would point a finger at KD in this game. So Pippen is reaching. And Pippen and other players like also Jay Williams. These are players who've talked bad about KD. They're lucky. They're so lucky because in their days, in their heydays, there was no media following them. There was no social media updating guys on what they're up to, on their mistakes. There are no records of his mistake. Because it's true. KD is right. Pippen did go and have surgery during the seasons. Normally players have their surgery after the season is over so that they don't interrupt their team. This guy wanted during the summer. He wanted the summer to go and vacation. He didn't want to recover during the summer. So in the middle of the season, he went and had his surgery, which he had to have. He went and had it during the season, meaning he couldn't help his teammates, so that during the summer he could go on vacation, not be up recovering. So that's true. And if that would have happened in this era, he would have been clowned and they would have just killed him on the media and just trashed him. But he's lucky. There was no so much coverage during those days, so he's had his mistakes, and he's one to come for KD. I think it's a reach for me. It's such a reach. I don't know what you think.
I
Your
mean,
thoughts on?
Scottie Pippen reached when you hear the full context of what Scottie Pippen said. I mean, those it was reaching and it was borderline like hating on KD
Yeah,
because it was borderline hating on KD. As much as I can try to be as objective as I can, bro, as a human being and also a basketball player. I can't say that about someone who went a back to back in the finals and
yeah,
dominating the first finals 2017 with the Golden State Warriors, 35 points per game through 5 games in the
yeah,
near like 35, 7 and 8. Then in
yeah,
the 2018 finals, 28, 10 and 7. So I mean, this guy has nothing left to prove. Sometimes he's already gotten to Mount Rushmore.
yeah.
If KD can retire right now, and he'll still be a legend. He's a rookie of the year, NBA MVP, 4 time scoring champion, 2 time
Season
champion,
MVP.
2 times finals MVP, yeah, regular season MVP, 2014
Yeah,
MVP. So this guy, the way these guys keep on like, throwing shit at KD was beloved in OKC, but when he made that decision to go to Golden State, it all went like the media and the fans
yeah. They
hated.
went
They
crazy.
hated KD. They hated
Yeah,
him.
they went crazy, and they're still hating him up until today for
It's
reasons
been,
that they just need to let it go. Just let it go.
I mean, let me just say the truth. I hated KD for that move.
Me
Honestly, I
too.
get it.
Me too.
I honestly, I hate it. But it reached a point where even if KD retires, he's gonna be remembered as an NBA champion. It doesn't matter what team he played for.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Really
also
doesn't.
he's still a champion.
I mean, the regular fan hated that move because it kind of monopolized Golden State. Everyone knew they were the guys to beat once that happened. But other than that, it's water under the bridge. It's something that's so far long ago. Guys just need to move on. Now we've got really exciting teams coming through. We just need to move from that chapter and just like let KD be. It's
I
already
mean,
past.
bro, guys will still hate KD now. He's in Brooklyn because of that move in 2016 to Golden State. He's no longer in Golden State for 2 whole seasons. And people
Yeah,
still hate KD for that. I don't know. Let it go. Let it go.
yeah, yeah. They need to let it go, and yeah, we need to let it go. I mean, come on.
And also, bro, there are also fans in Cleveland and other parts of the world who hate LeBron for that decision he made in 2010. It's 2010. Right now it's 2021. And you're still talking about it. Bro, let it go.
They just need to let it go. I don't know what more I can say about that. And this thing about KD versus LeBron, it's not really a competition. They are two different players who've taken two different routes to reach. Because I had guys saying, "Oh, now KD knows how it feels to carry a team. It was so hard on him. He's just used to be playing easy basketball." That's not the case. That's never been the case. He played on a good team on AKC and that on Golden State, and that was it. There's nothing more to say about him losing the Nets.
And
Yeah,
bro, bro. Then also LeBron had a quote that he got infamously roasted on. He did this post in way back in 16th June. That's like last week. So this is what he said, and I quote. They so he's talking about the league. And I quote, they all didn't want they didn't they okay, they all didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. I knew exactly what would happen. I only wanted to protect the well-being of the players, which ultimately is the product and benefit of our game. These injuries isn't just part of the game, it's it's the lack of pure rim rest. Rest before starting, backups, and possibly nine All Stars have missed the playoff games, most in league history. This is the best time of the year for our league and fans, but missing a ton of favorite players is just insane. If there's one person that knows about body the way the way he knows it, the way he knows it works, and also all year round, it's me. I speak for the health of all our players, and I hate to see many injuries in this time of the year. Sorry, fans. We wish you guys. If I wish you sorry, fans. Wish you guys were seeing all your favorite guys right now. So the whole gist of what LeBron is saying, these players are getting injured because the league like rushed, and it was a business decision. If you check the reports on the All-Star game, the way the All-Star game was reported, they were saying that the players, the big names were saying that this All-Star game shouldn't have happened, but the NBA executives pushed it just because they just wanted money. So it ended up being a money thing. It ended up being a money grab, and this is what LeBron is talking to. But if LeBron has this sentiment, how do you expect the NBA to pay itself and pay the league if guys don't play,
I mean,
right?
you can look at it from both sides. You know, you can't you know how the NBA is. You know how they are one of the best paid athletes in the world. They get paid millions. I mean, Ben Simmons is on 35 million a year.
Oh, you're
So
breaking.
the pandemic really messed up. I'm breaking. Am I breaking?
Yeah,
Am
yeah,
I
yeah.
okay now?
Your mic is
Can you
have you
can
plugged
you
it
hear
in?
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's clear. It's clear right
Can
now.
you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes. It's clear. It's clear.
You can hear me?
Yes, yes. Nakusikia vizuri sana.
Oh, sawa.
Yeah,
Okay, so as I was saying, you can look at it from both sides. Sure, the league needs money so that it can pay the players, and like the whole organization, the whole NBA organization can just run smoothly. But on the other hand, yeah, sure. Even if you look at the distance between last season ending and the new season starting, I mean, the previous season ending and this current season starting, it was pretty short, and they had to fit all eight. I don't know how many games they played. They had to fit a lot of games in a really short period. And sure, there was going to be injuries, and we really suffered not seeing Kyrie and Harden. And also, LeBron wasn't playing 100%. I don't think so. Guys like that. So the fan has really suffered, but I don't know. You can see it from both sides. LeBron can complain, but you are right. How the hell are they going to pay guys if there's no money coming in? So you can't really cut the games, and you can't really say the players, "Hey, you guys, let's not play during this period. Let you guys rest." The All is a very big revenue. It
revenue
brings a
stream.
lot of revenue. Yeah, it's a very good revenue stream. So they're not going to cut that off. They're really not going to cut. Sure, it really made the players tire out more, but they're not going to cut that. So I don't know. No matter which way you look at it, both of sides make sense. So it's just about letting it go and just looking forward to next season. I don't know what more can be said. There's nothing to roast there with LeBron because he's looking at the players and he's looking at himself, and yeah, he's got a point. But on the other hand, also the other side has a point.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah,
as much as you can say, oh, your favorite players are getting injured. I mean, how do you expect the league to get revenue? Okay,
yeah,
okay. So as much as we want the NBA games to come back, there's a
yeah,
cost that comes with it, like the player injuries, like the way got injured, James Harden, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Jamal Murray, Kyrie Irving, just to name a few star players that got injured. But as much as you can say that, that's the cost of, like, condensing the season to 72 games and putting a packed schedule. You remember the league started in Christmas. That's December, and the playoffs are in June. So you can see like it's 72 games, and sometimes I was watching the regular season games in a week, in a whole day. I had 14 games. I can't keep touch of all 14 games. It's hard, but
Yeah.
sometimes, desperate times calls for desperate. The league has to generate revenue, and the content that they need is those games. So if those games don't happen, that's money being lost. So
Like
yeah,
during the season, we were expecting a Lakers versus Nets final. I mean, that was the most exciting. Everyone was just saying, let's have Lakers and Nets in the final. But you can see those are the two teams that were most hit by the injury because LeBron played with injury. AD kept going down. On the Nets side, Harden, Kyrie, you know. So yeah, it was for the fun. It was we probably maybe we may have missed a very good final there due to the schedule being condensed like that. So I don't know. You just move on from that and just let bygones be bygones. But it was a really miss because I really think a healthy Nets reaches the finals. Those three guys, you're not stopping them, and a healthy Lakers could have at least reached the conference final instead of just getting knocked out like that by Suns team.
it's okay. It's okay for them to get knocked out. I mean, sometimes okay, you have to. It's the playoffs, and you can expect the unexpected. So, on to other stories. So we got the U.S. Olympics men's basketball roster just got released. We got some very good players in there. I mean,
Yeah, very
s-
exciting.
some players in the 2019 in the Olympics. I remember some players ducked, and we had some. I mean, it was so embarrassing the way that the last time the US the USA team USA played in the Olympics, we got embarrassed. I think they finished like fifth or sixth. It was so
Yeah,
embarrassing, you
it
know.
was not a good team at all. That was not a good team.
I mean, the major stars did not play. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a problem. But in this case, let me just name the players that are gonna be that are on the roster. So we've got Bama de Bayo, Bradley
Wow.
Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach Lavine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, and Jason Tatum. What about that roster there?
Wow. I mean, this they're going out there to like kill the opponents. They're going to be like blowing out every game. It's going to be a blown out win. I mean, you see all the scoring options they have. They have, especially on the wings. They have Jason Tatum, Booker, Zach Levine, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal on the wings. I mean, wow.
And
They're
also,
going out there to score. They're not playing. They're going to destroy teams. They're not going out there to play fundamental. They're just going to go out there and score the
I
basket.
mean, in the number one spot, the point guard spot, you got Damian Lillard and Drew Holiday right there. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be difficult. So this gold medal, it can just safe to say, I just can say, just go. It's gonna This gold medal is going to America. It's a gold medal.
it's a goal. It's a goal,
It's a
and
gold.
I'm calling it. It's going to be a blowout on like three-quarter of their games. They're going to blow out every team. Every team they're going to blow out those teams.
Hey
You know.
man, this time I was watching the Team USA versus Nigeria in the 2012 Olympics. I mean, their game ended, I think, 153-79. And some point in the fourth quarter, LeBron James just walked out and said, "Ah, man, this is just cheap stuff." He just walked out, man. I mean,
That was the
one.
squad where they took AD and he hadn't even played an NBA game. I
Oh
remember.
my God!
They,
I
took,
mean,
they just took him to sit on the bench and like just for experience. That was one of the best US teams of all time.
if Team USA, okay, Team USA is getting the right from the NBA. So if the NBA players are fighting each other, what if they join forces? I mean, oh my God, it's game over. I mean, if these
This
guys compete with each other, if these
yeah
guys are competing with each other in the playoffs, right, in the
yeah
NBA, and they're trying to see who's the best, what if these guys just join forces to eliminate another force? You think these other teams have a chance?
they do not have a chance. Another exciting name to see over there is Kevin Love. Who would have thought Kevin Love would be going with Team USA?
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
that
I also KD. I wasn't expecting KD to be in the roster, but hey, he's in the roster.
your speaker's acting up. What did you say?
I wasn't expecting to see KD
Yeah,
on the roster. I wasn't expecting that, but hey, that it caught me by
yeah,
surprise.
yeah. You're right. KD. The last time he played, it was quite a while. I was expecting maybe the young guys would have come because, like, I don't know. Another this. I'm pretty sure there's a young guy that they are forgetting. I was expecting maybe they just take the young wing players and just play them for like experience. Like KD just has the rest because KD is coming from an era with LeBron and Carmelo, that era. So for him to come again, it was surprising. But maybe they just took him for experience. They need a guy who's been in the previous Olympics, so he could be there for experience. They could just go with a young team like that. They needed an experience. So Kevin Durant is there for experience. Just the same thing as Carmelo was there for the last Olympics.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, this gold medal is gonna go. It's gonna go to USA, and it's enough said. They got embarrassed the last time they were in the Olympics, so I don't expect them to go down again. So it's theirs to lose. They have the talent. They have the team to pull it off. And yeah, man,
Who do you think is going to be the standout guy? Because during the other Olympics, there's always been a standout guy. Who do you think
standard.
is going to stand out of the whole roster? Because we have all agreed they are going to win gold, but there's always this one guy who like scores a lot. Carmelo was that guy, I guess, 208. KD had a good game, 2012, I guess. He was the guy. But there's always
For
that one guy who like really carries the team. Who do you think?
for me, it's a tiebreaker between Bradley Beal and Jason Tatum, and I have a
Ah,
reason. I have a reason why. Bradley Beal was the leading scorer for a Washington Wizards team that was somewhat with the worst record before Westbrook came in. He was leading the league in scoring, and Jason Tatum transformed into a bona fide like star player. So it's gonna be a dogfight between those two guys who's gonna outmatch or outplay the other in the same team. So it's gonna be those two guys. Those are the two guys. KD is not gonna be there to drop like 40. He's gonna be there to get these guys, get the Jason Tatum open, just give him the ball. Just he's not gonna be there to dominate and score. I mean he's old. He's gonna
he's not
let
going
these
to
young
put a lot
guys.
of effort. He's not going to put a lot of effort in like scoring. He's just going to be there. Yeah, you're right. For me, I think it's Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is the guy. I'm looking at this squad, and I think he's the guy who's going to stand out. That's something that I see happening because he's ready, and they're just going to. And most times it's usually a wing player. It's not the guards, even though the guards are pretty talented during all the USA Olympic teams. But most times it's that wing player who can really shoot the three. And like, yeah, I think that's Jason Tatum this time around.
I feel I feel it's if it's I feel it's just right the right time for Jason Tatum to
Yeah.
come in come in and show out. So you remember that time? You remember that LeBron James quote that he tweeted out. So he got a lot of flack for it, and he also had a follow up tweet for that because he got roasted by NBA fans, NBA media. You know how NBA media works. When you just say something, they take it out of context, they take it out of proportion, and
All
they
the
try
time.
to all the time they do that. So this is what he replied, and I quote: "Never thought I'll be taking out of this from this perspective, but I'm not really sure what else you expected. When the higher ups have all come together as a collective with conspiracies to end my run and send me a message." So you can see he was being attacked for just mentioning the truth and the way it was, but guys were not having it, and the execs were not having it. LeBron James' brand is so huge, it's global. So when you say something, no, he goes global about it. So I feel LeBron James was taken out of context because he tried to highlight a truth, but it was countered by another truth. So if there was a middle ground that was struck to be able to find out like how to manage it, guys took it out of context and said LeBron James doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play because he's old. He doesn't want to play because a bunch of stuff the way NBA media works. So I mean, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Shannon Sharp, and Skip Bayless. All these four guys just try to spin the narrative so that they can like size up or damage the mentality of a casual fan and make him hate LeBron more. So what you think about that?
LeBron's power is unmatched. Like you remember during the bubble when guys were like players were like, I don't want to play, I don't want to play during last season's bubble. And LeBron and guys were like, hey, let's not come back with the NBA, let the NBA season just die out. And then LeBron said, hey guys, we're going to play, we should play. And there's a player who came out and said, hey, if LeBron says we have to play, we are going to play. Because that's how
It's
big
pa-
LeBron is. Yeah.
it's Patrick Beverly. He said that we just gonna play because LeBron said we're gonna play. So Patrick Beverly just came out straight out of the gate and just said that. So yeah,
Yeah.
whatever whatever LeBron says, it goes.
Yeah, yeah, and LeBron had a good reason for saying that during the bubble because his team was the strongest. So he was like, "This is my time to win a champ," and it did happen. This was his time to win a championship. But other than that, LeBron's power is unmatched in the NBA. I think he's so like the media they can really use him for good and also use him for bad because there are times when they've really praised him and their guys. So it's always going to be bittersweet with him. But on those comments, I think LeBron had a right in saying them. And every time he says even the littlest of things, they're always going to scrutinize it, try to break it down to every little word. What did this mean? What this could mean this and this could mean. But I think he had a right to say what he had said and standing up for for his words.
Yeah. So I mean, the media will try to spin a narrative, just try to these networks. We actually underestimate how big these networks are. When they say something, it goes to a larger audience. So when the larger audience, the casual fan, like who doesn't watch NBA games and just goes and watches Fast Take or Undisputed, when they hear the interpretation of what is being said and it goes against what was actually said, the facts, they'll tend to believe the interpreted the mangled facts. So that's the problem. That's why LeBron James got like flamed by the whole league and the fans, the media try to roast him, but hey, I mean, that's how NBA media can make you or break you. That's one thing. So
And have you seen this news? They're saying that Spencer Dinwiddie, who was the Nets guard, has
yeah.
declined to extend on his contract. So it's like he's going to be shopping himself out there. So he's not going
Oh
to
yeah,
return with the Nets.
oh yeah, I saw that, but I was
Yeah,
like, why? I mean, just opt in. Make sure you opt in. Run it back with Kyrie. Let's see if you can get to a championship. Then when the contract is up, if you win a title with when your contract expiring, now you can move away because it wouldn't be great to do that when your team is already built for a championship and you miss out on the opportunity. What if he opts out of free agency, goes to another team, the Nets win the championship the next season? What about that? I
I
mean,
don't, I
that's a
don't,
missed opportunity.
I don't know if he's talked to the coaches or maybe he's looking at the roster. Is like, I don't see my spot here because they did okay without him. They did really okay, especially trading for James Harden. James Harden coming in. I don't know. I don't know if maybe he's looking at his as the roster and is like, where do I come in? How do I play? Because he had a spot when James Harden wasn't there. Him and Kyrie could, the guards were enough. But now with James Harden there, and it's a very healthy James Harden. So I don't know. Maybe he's thinking maybe I won't play as much. I won't have such a big influence. Maybe I should just, when my value is up, maybe I should just go somewhere else. But they're talking about him signing with the Lakers. I guess that's his hometown. He's a Lakers. He's from Los Angeles. So I don't know if maybe the Lakers need him. And maybe if he moves from one contender to the other, maybe it's not as bad.
But
Instead of him moving to just a smaller team, maybe a ninth seed or eighth seed.
but like Dennis Schroeder also his contract is expiring. He's gonna be an unrestricted free agent. So I don't know what the Lakers are gonna do that. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
what
on
I
the
don't know.
Lakers.
I mean, it's pretty rough right now. If a guys like Andre Drummond, Dennis Schroeder, if these guys just walk, I mean, oh my God, I mean, it's gonna be very difficult, very difficult. I like that rebuild, that retooling around AD and LeBron is gonna be pretty challenging because we need to, get guys fit into the system and go all in for a title. I mean, if Spencer Dinwiddie wants to do that, it's gonna be very detrimental for him because if he doesn't go to a contender, it's an L for him. But if he stays
Yeah.
with but if he stays with the Nets and just comes off the bench the way he used to, and also I know he's going to have reduced minutes because you got James Harden there, and Kyrie will be switching in the one and two spots respectively. So I feel like if he came off the bench this season and just I know his stats is gonna drop. He's not gonna drop like 22 points. He's gonna drop like 14 points, 7 assists. He's gonna average those stats. But I feel like for him, it will be in his best interest to stay with the Nets and try to run it back to see if he can increase his his stock when he assists like the Nets to get to the finals. So yeah, that's what I can say about that.
Maybe Spencer Dinwiddie is looking at his career and he's like, I've proved it now. I'm a starting guard. I'm starting point guard. Maybe coming off the bench isn't that how you sell him on this. So maybe that's how he doesn't want to stay with the Nets because he's like, hey, right now I should be starting. I'm not really a bench guy. I know I've played that role before, but I've shown that I'm able to score at the highest level. I'm a good player. He's had a very clutch moments. So maybe that's where his mind is at. I don't know if the Lakers are going to give him because what do you think? Do you think the Lakers are going to sign Dennis Schroeder to an extension?
At this point, it's not gonna be a. I think they're gonna just give him like like a 5 million. It's not gonna be a mass extension. It's gonna be given like in the realm of like eight 8 to 10 million contract extension, maybe for even a single season. Because I don't think that with the money that the Lakers have committed to the Lake for to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and also you've got a guy like KCP is being given like 8 million. You've got Kyle Kuzma who was signed to a 40 million extension. I don't know if they're gonna trade him. But if they trade Kuzma, they can sign Dennis Schroeder to that max extension. But it's highly that's an if in it. I don't know if it's likely. But I feel like the Lakers need to like retool in their guards position because LeBron James can't do everything. So they need to like get someone inside there. Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be that guy, but he blew it for the Lakers. But I feel like there's a likelihood that's gonna get shopped this offseason. So yeah.
The Lakers need to have the biggest off season of all the teams. They are the team that I'm going to be looking at to trade. I don't know. Are the Lakers with their cap space with the LeBron and AD? Do you think they're capable of getting a Lillard or a Bradley Beal, or is that just a dream? Should they just settle for a Spencer Dinwiddie or Dennis Schroeder or that kind of player? Do you think they're capable of getting Lillard or a Bradley Beal?
Uh,
Is it capable? Would their cap space allow them to get a Lillard or a Bradley Beal?
at this point, let me just be honest with you. Let me just be honest with you, Moses. Let me just
Yeah.
give you a rundown of the Lakers payroll. So you remember LeBron James signed a 154 million contract extension way back in no, not contract in uh 2018, right? Then you got extended for 2 more seasons. So this guy LeBron James is going to be earning 39 million in 2020, 2021. That's what the money is going to be paid this season. Then 41 million 2021, 2022 season. Then the 2022, 23, 23 season, 44 million. But the guy who's swallowing all the cap is Anthony Davis. On average, this guy's gonna be earning like thir- 30, 34 million a season. Like the end in the end of this in the end of his contract, he's gonna be earning 43 million. But remember, Damian Lillard, it's a pipe dream because Damian Lillard right now, that guy is on pace to be earning 50 million at the end of his season. So it's gonna be difficult. It's a pipe dream. The same way they couldn't get Chris Paul. Guys didn't understand why the Lakers couldn't get Chris Paul because there's not enough cap.
When you have
The
when
guy,
you when you they're trying to tie down AD to be their future for the next many years because LeBron doesn't have long, but they need to have at least one of them stay up, even if they're going to be trading guys or building up once LeBron goes. So yeah, you're right. I
I
don't
don't,
think that
let, let me let me tell you
looking at it now.
let me tell you something about Damian Lillard. this season is earning 31 million. Next season, 43 million.
Yeah.
The next
Wow.
season, 47. The other next season, 50. And the last year is 54 million. So you can see they can't get Damian Lillard is locked to the Blazers.
Yeah.
He signed an extension. He signed that mass extension in 29 in the offseason of 2019. He signed a 170 million extension in 2019. So yeah, he's not gonna leave Portland anytime soon. He's not gonna leave. This guy, Damian Lillard, is guaranteed $227 million with the Blazers.
Yeah. He's stuck.
He-
He's stuck.
There is no way. I mean, there's no way he's gonna leave. They already locked him up. I mean, the Lakers,
So
the guy. I mean, the Lakers, LeBron James and Anthony Davis' salary. You need to trade both LeBron James and Anthony Davis to get Damian Lillard because you need to match salaries. I mean, these guys. I mean, that's how massive Damian Lillard's extension is. So there's no way he's gonna come to the Lakers. No way.
yeah, so the Lakers aren't getting a big name during the off season. Probably get a
No.
few good pieces.
Like yeah, they just need a few role players right there because they already got their star players. They've got their star player in AD and LeBron. You know, LeBron is aging, but AD is their main guy.
Yeah.
He's their Shaquille O'Neal. Maybe through the draft, they can try to draft players and build around him. But I mean, trading for a big name, it's not easy. It's not gonna be easy.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to be looking at the Lakers during the off season. Let's see what they're going to
But but bro, the guys with the craziest payroll is the Brooklyn Nets, bro. I mean,
do.
they have got three
uh,
guys. They have got three guys locked into max contracts.
yeah.
Max, as in, there's no way. I mean, I mean, the cap is already swallowed. They can't get any big name. There's no. They don't expect any big moves to be made by the Nets. Don't expect. They already made their big moves in the trade deadline, so that's that.
Their selling point is going to be like telling players to come take a pay cut
My
for a good
like a
run at the finals. Yeah, so that's going to be their selling point.
veteran minimums extension, like a one
Yeah,
million, 2 million, like that. Like there's some guys who can take that money just to get a title. So like
yeah,
DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, that guy,
yeah.
he took a pay cut to go to the Warriors, but he made the finals, but he didn't win. So
He's
yeah,
with
I
the
mean,
Clippers. He's with the
right,
Clippers right now,
right,
Demarcus.
right now he's at the Clippers, so and he has
Yeah,
a perfect chance to get to the finals and also win. We
he
never
still
know
has a
what's gonna happen.
chance. Yeah, he still
Yeah.
has a chance. So Clippers, I mean, Nets have a good sell. That's why they can't. Probably why Spencer Dinwiddie declined. Maybe they didn't have enough money for him, and he's looking like, you guys are not going to give me the minutes. You're not going to give me the money that I want. So yeah, me, I'm probably I'm going. I'm gone. So I don't
So
know.
So yeah, man, I feel okay. I mean, it's pretty difficult because I mean, there are a lot of guys in the Nets who are signed to 1 year deals. The guys like Jeff Green, the guys who are going to be unrestricted free agents this season are Jeff Green, Tyler Johnson, Bruce Brown, Blake Griffin. I mean, there are not many guys. The guys on 2 way contracts like Mike, minimum salary like Mike James, 2 way contracts, Reggie Perry. These guys don't even hear about them. But anyway, I mean, Landry Shamet is on a 2 million deal. Um, yeah, so bro, I mean, it's gonna be this off season. I feel it's gonna be the most boring off season ever because no many big names have been locked up to massive extensions. There are no many like big names who they're gonna be moving, so they're all locked up.
Yeah, let's see about that. What game is on today?
So you've got the Milwaukee Bucks versus Atlanta Hawks game two. That's the game I'm gonna be waiting for. So yeah, man, I feel like we're gonna let's just cut it from here. We're gonna pick it up on the next stream. So I'm just gonna make sure we get all them stats facts right. Then we'll catch up
Yeah.
later. I'll make sure to DM you like the date for the stream, the time, so I can be prepared for beforehand. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No problem, bro.
So yeah, man, let's just shut it down, and it's gonna be next time.
I we'll talk. We'll talk then. See
I
how it
will
goes.
talk, bro. Thanks for joining the stream, man. You're most welcome. Your family in the channel. You're welcome. Anytime,
Yeah.
bro. Anytime.
Thank you for having me, man. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, cool, man.
Okay.